In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on November 19, 2022, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Georgia versus Kentucky. The Kentucky Wildcats host the Georgia Bulldogs this Saturday in a battle for Southeastern Conference East bragging rights. The top-ranked Bulldogs control their destiny to win the conference and earn a spot in the college football playoff. With games against Kentucky, Georgia Tech, and LSU left on their schedule, it won't be easy, but the defending champs will be favored in all 3 of their upcoming matchups. Kentucky has been disappointing, dropping from the rankings following losses to Tennessee and Vanderbilt. The Bulldogs are 37-15 against the spread in their last 52 road games and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. The Wildcats are 20-6-2 against the spread versus a team with a winning record, and 19-9-1 against the spread in their last 29 home games. The under is 8-3-1 in Bulldogs' last 12 games overall. The under is 10-1 in Wildcats' last 11 games overall. The under is 5-2 in the last 7 meetings. It is tough to pull the trigger on any team facing Georgia right now, particularly when it is a struggling team. However, the Wildcats are simply being given too many points at home. Georgia is favored by more points on the road in this game than it was at home last year, which was a spread it failed to cover. Kentucky is built to play low-scoring games, as it relies increasingly on its rushing attack and its defense. The Georgia Bulldogs are clearly the better team on both sides of the ball and should be big favorites. However, this is the biggest home game for the Kentucky Wildcats in forever, and there should be a loud atmosphere with motivated players. Kentucky is an improved program and quietly has a defense that's 17th in total defense and 23rd in scoring defense. Kentucky is not a pushover like this line suggests. Georgia has already clinched its spot in the Southeastern Conference title game, so its main focus will be cruising to a win and avoiding injuries in the second half. So the Kentucky Wildcats to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. I like the Wildcats' chances of controlling more time of possession than the betting market expects, especially with how well Rodriguez is running the ball right now. Kentucky's defense is also playing well, ranked inside the top 20 nationally. The Wildcats should be able to slow down Georgia's offense enough to bleed the clock. They have gone under the total in 6 straight games, while the Bulldogs have gone under in 9 of their last 12 contests. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Texas versus Kansas. The Kansas Jayhawks play host to the Texas Longhorns on Saturday in an interesting Big 12 showdown. The Jayhawks had been the talk of college football for much of the beginning of the season, though have fallen back slightly of late. For the Longhorns, a loss last week really set this group back in the Big 12 standings, as they'll be looking to bounce back in this one. The Jayhawks have made this brewing rivalry interesting over the last few seasons, and there's little doubt this one will go down to the wire. Texas is 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 road games. Kansas is 5-0-1 against the spread in their last 6 home games. The underdog is 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 meetings between Texas and Kansas. The under is 6-0 in the last 6 meetings in Kansas. The Kansas Jayhawks running game with Neal is one of the best in the country, giving them the opportunity to control the clock and keep their defense off the field. While the Longhorns have the talent, they have a habit of allowing opponents to stay in the game, and traveling for this one is likely to add to their difficulties. I just think this sets up as a bit of a letdown spot for Texas after such a disappointing performance last week, and I believe Kansas will be fully ready to take advantage whichever QB is under center for this one. Even if Daniels isn't back for the Jayhawks, Kansas is going to find success here. This Longhorns offense isn't elite, and the Jayhawks are going to be able to keep up, even if this is a shootout. If this line was under a touchdown, you could have an easier time convincing me Texas, but near double digits, I have to go Kansas here. Kansas is going to pull the upset here, so the Kansas Jayhawks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Kansas will be without some key playmakers on the outside, so a heavy dose of Neal running the ball seems to be their best chance toward coming away with the win. For Texas, having the best running back in the country certainly doesn't hurt either, while he should see plenty of the ball on the ground against a weak Kansas defense. Controlling the clock is crucial to find the win in this one, and slow possessions will be the norm, especially into the second half. Additionally, for Kansas, the under is 4-0 in Kansas' last 4 home games and 5-0 in their last 5 games against a team with a winning record. Beyond that, the under is also 6-0 in the last 6 meetings between these two teams in Kansas. This is expected to be a low-scoring affair, despite the potency of these two offenses, mainly due to the emphasis on running the ball for both sides. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Miami, Florida versus Clemson. The Clemson Tigers play host to the Miami Hurricanes on Saturday afternoon in a crucial Atlantic Coast Conference showdown. These two longtime powers have found themselves going in opposite directions over the last handful of years. The Tigers remain the class of the Atlantic Coast Conference, while the Hurricanes have gone from preseason favorite to find themselves near the bottom of the standings. These two programs are filled with strength, but with the Tigers continuing to eye a CFP berth, they'll be tough to take down in this one. The Hurricanes are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 conference games. Clemson is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 conference games. The favorite is 4-0 against the spread in the last 4 meetings. The Miami Hurricanes will take on their toughest test of the season as they take on the Clemson Tigers on the road. Clemson's still in a position to make the playoffs, but they need a statement win after losing to Notre Dame. Miami has had a roller coaster season with their 5-5 record through 10 games. The Hurricanes are likely without their starting quarterback Tyler Van Dyke with his shoulder injury. If he doesn't suit up this week, the Hurricanes will look to freshman quarterback Jackery Brown. He started last week in an impressive outing against Georgia Tech, throwing for 3 touchdowns and rushing for over 80 yards. The Hurricanes' injury problems also continue in the backfield as leading rusher Henry Parrish Jr. has a lingering issue that could also keep him out of the game this week. Miami hasn't been the most explosive team on offense this year, but it doesn't help their cause to keep this game close with big question marks. As I stated earlier, Clemson needs to have a dominating win to have any sort of chance of making the playoffs. A close win won't do them any good in the rankings. There is plenty of talent on this Clemson team that starts with quarterback DJ Uiagalelei. He has accumulated 24 touchdowns this season passing and rushing this season. His top 5 leading receivers this year are averaging at least 11 yards a catch this season. Plenty of weapons on Clemson to cover the spread against Miami. The Tigers have been dominant in conference play, covering the spread with an 8-2 record in their last 10 conference games. So the Clemson Tigers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. I expect Clemson to run the score up above 30 points on their side. With Shipley leading the running game and Uiagalelei completing passes for first downs, I don't see the offense slowing down one bit. Miami will be without its starting quarterback. However, Brown has been a good replacement so far. Miami will run the ball quite a bit, but Clemson is allowing close to 130 rushing yards per game, opening the door for the Hurricanes to put points on the board. Miami will also be facing Clemson in its home stadium, where the energy will be brimming with orange and purple. In their 2020 matchup, Clemson walked away with a 42-17 victory, and I expect this outing to be similar. Miami isn't as good as we expected this year, so I expect Clemson to have a field day and run the score up. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.